I mean, I was always interested in art and always there used to be this programming block on Cartoon Network called Toonami in like the late 90s, early 2000s. And I would have my sketchbook out. And like as Dragon Ball Z was playing, I would like sketch Goku. But as far as digital art, I was always gaming. I was always playing Xbox Live. At the same time, like the work I was seeing on my phone, even though it wasn't stuff that I had learned about in school, I could see that it was doing what I thought that poetry and art should do, which is to inspire thought and critique and make you laugh. And so yeah, all of these sort of memes that combined image and text in a way that was contemporary and emergent, in a way that hadn't quite existed because the mass communication technology hadn't gotten there, That's what brought me in. Everything I make, I want it to also be like something that I could not make without AI. So like over the summer, I made this film. It's called Rocco's Bassinet. It's playing right now in an installation at Buffalo Institute Contemporary Art about this tiny little black baby girl crawling. Starts off in like just a fleshy portal. And then you're in the hospital. And then you're in the lobby in Langley, Virginia at the CIA. And then you're at the White House. And then you're at the House of Congress. And then you're at the UN. And then you're at the International Criminal Justice Courts. And you're at The Hague. Then you're at the Tower of Basel Central Bank in Switzerland. And then you're in the cobalt mines in Africa, and you're at NVIDIA, and it just keeps going. But every place is a place that's tied to herself, a deliberating body as she moves. And these places are deliberating bodies. They're institutions where like lives and the way that lives will play out, decision about who lives and who dies are conferred upon, So it's like all of these meta layers. But then it goes into, again, like the raw materiality of these microprocessors that power, the AI and where they're made. And yeah, I think it's fucking sick and phenomenal. And, it's like, how dare you use, don't you know it's destroying the environment, it's polluting, you know how much water you use? And it's like, I don't know how much water I use per generation. I'm sure that information is out there. But I do know that like it's way easier to hold me, who has no institutional or legislative power, in contempt than it is to like hold these huge tech companies to account, It's easier to like come at me, And I think that's like a systemic issue. Well, these were sort of like experiments, whereas like the film was more focused, The film started as a post, and then I just kept adding to it. But these were just like, I noticed there's a tendency in AI, there's a kind of necromancy involved, bringing people back from the dead. Michael Jackson, Tupac, Bob Ross, you name Elvis. But I was like, let's see what happens if I bring Miles Davis back. Or like if I bring him back, can I do it in such a way that it's about the necromancy? And that's why every like Miles Davis meme I've made, he's like in hell, I made a meme that was like the lol cow Chris Chan, like swapped out in the like Jamiroquai Virtual Insanity video. And so that song is about like, the dangers of technology. So it was a nice play on that, And then Chris Chan is someone, a lol cow, meaning like they're behavior was like goaded on by their like internet audience, you know. Um, so that in some ways they were manipulated by the technology, or their behavior existed in this like attentional feedback loop, you know, with their audience online. I'm working on this film. It's called Trichnosis. It's another AI film. So Yaqub comes out of the Nation of Islam, uh, you know, like Louis Farrakhan, Malcolm X, Elijah Muhammad. And like in their religious text, there's this black big-headed scientist named Yaqub who like 6,000 years ago invented the white race, like as this retributive thing, like, you know, to destroy the world and to like this is the founding myth in this religion that sort of explains, you know, white supremacy, racial antagonisms, this character Yaqub. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Yaqub and I'm going to face swap Yaqub with the face of Peter Thiel, who's like the co-founder of Palantir, a giant surveillance company, data analytics company. And yeah, so it's going to be like Yaqub, but with the, you know, phenotype of Peter Thiel. And I'm not quite sure what he's going to say, but then there will be like a crazy montage after that's like shit that could only be made in AI.